Okay. Right, come in, folks. Here we go. I've sent you the link. Tap by link. Come in. Just sent you the fire post. Gushas var copy. Yes, Gushas. Just bring a few people in. Okay. Right, we're just waiting for Gushas to come in. Good evening, folks. Good evening to you. We're just waiting for Gushas to come in right now. Gifford Gomwe, hoping that he can come in. Are you failing to join in? Are you failing to join in? You just click per microphone. You got to click up a microphone. If you click per microphone, then I'll add you. What's your Twitter account? Yeah. What's your Twitter account? I set up in the. I send down. Okay, yeah, but it's not about number. It's about your Twitter account.
No. There's no registered Twitter account.
Okay, so you're not on Twitter.
But you know.
Okay, so I'm sending you the. So you want to come on StreamYard, correct?
Yeah, StreamYard, it's okay.
Okay, right. So I'll link your StreamYard. I'm just sending you right now. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, right. So it's coming through shortly. Okay. And then if you can't join in, you just have to come by phone. And it.
All right, it's okay.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Hi, Comrade Setfree. Comrade Setfree, you can turn on your microphone. Comrade Setfree, you can turn on your microphone. Your microphone is not on. Open your microphone. Okay. I've just sent him a microphone. Hi, Setfree, can you hear me? You might need to open your microphone. Okay, right. Just waiting here. My apologies, folks. I Setfree, you can open your microphone if you can.
I see Maui.
Oh, beautiful. I thought you were hearing me. It turns out that it was my fault.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Right. Okay. It'll be great. Panic noise in the background. Yes. Oh, is it?
Like I said earlier.
Oh, I see. So I see.
My background will be a bit noisy.
It will be a bit noisy. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Right. So I think let's see if we can just do with what we have. But yeah, Comrade Setfree, to take me into your views. We see so maybe if you can be muting and unmuting. Yes. So be muting and unmuting. So You only unmute when you need to speak.
Okay.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, because that will help. So when you press the and then Tova Tanzwa, then we can hear your voice. Okay, right. So Comrade Setfree, take us in. What do you see? Would like to hear you. Maybe Chimbotipeo, your 3 minutes. You are a standing ZANU-PF member. I've known you for a very long time, for I think over 10, if not 12 years or so. Why do you how do you see the current ZANU-PF events around the Tagwirei in co-option or no co-option? What's happening? Take us through.
Well, Simba, first and foremost, I want you to understand that the possible co-option of Comrade Kudakwashe Tagwirei into ZANU-PF, and particularly into the Central Committee, is not something that is new. It's something that has happened before, but for some reason, his co-option seems to be getting a lot of attention and causing a lot of pandemonium and panic amongst certain people within certain quarters. So, Simba, you must understand that into this test. I will just take you back, back into 2017. Do you remember prior to November 2017, the current president, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa, had been dismissed from the party. And you also look at people like Comrade Christopher Muchanga, he had also been dismissed from the party. And these two gentlemen that I've mentioned, they had to be brought back through a party process. And they were eventually brought back, with E.T. Mnangagwa becoming the president and first secretary of ZANU-PF. And Muchanga dropping in and, bouncing back as the party spokesperson, being the secretary for information within the Political Bureau. So there's nothing peculiar about Comrade Kudakwashe Tagwirei being roped in to the party's central committee. There's nothing new about Tagwirei being present among Comrade Kudakwashe always Tagwirei being in seconds, but just to the party's central. Who are in the know will tell you that there's nothing new about Tagwirei being present among ZANU-PF sectors. Well, he has always been in ZANU-PF circles, but just if I take you back to 2017 again, you recall that most of the Political Bureau members were moved to the party headquarters because the party had the view that they wanted to operate like the Chinese Communist Bureau members are full-time employees of the party. And you realize that there needed to be, a lot of perks in place for these people to be functional at party headquarters. Amongst the perks were vehicles, which are cars that they would be issued so that they could, perform their duties within the Political Bureau. Funding matters of ZANU-PF, it's not a secret, it's known by everyone. ZANU-PF was being funded by people like Kudakwashe Tagwirei. Not only him, but there are also other individuals who were funded. And then most recently, we hear Harare province then nominates Comrade Tagwirei for a position within the Central Committee of ZANU-PF. And then all hell breaks loose. The reason why I think hell is breaking is there are a lot of individuals within Comrade Tagwirei, within the party's decision-making bodies. They want him out there. They don't want him in. They want what he comes with, but they don't want him as a person within the structures of ZANU. But now, if a province nominates an individual to come in and sit and co-opt a person into the central committee, there's nothing taboo about it. It's just the two processes must be followed up to the point where Comrade Tagwirei is accepted into the central committee. So right now, the fights that you see where Tagwirei's name is involved are fights that are more personal, and they are fights that have nothing to do with ZANU-PF itself. In the past few weeks, you realize that the Central Committee, which is the highest decision-making body outside, or in ZANU-PF outside Congress, they were all about to receive cars. Why would someone in their right sense any motor Central Committee motor? All these fights have nothing to do with ZANU-PF, the party. They have a lot to do with individuals who feel threatened by the presence of Kudakwashe Tagwirei within the structures of ZANU. So any issues that will be discussed or that will be said, they really have nothing to do with the party. Co-options are not new, like I said from the beginning. He's not the first person to be co-opted. And you see, at the end of the day, if President Mnangagwa wants to, agrees to the Tagwirei in the CC, then nothing can stop it. Remember, the first secretary is a very powerful position in ZANU-PF. He is the president of the party. He is the president of the country. And if he really wants, he can just stamp his authority and say, okay, I've heard all your views, but this is what is going to happen. Can all be against it, but in reality, if the president, the buck stops with the president. If he wants Tagwirei in, Tagwirei will be in. And all the structures, as you know, ZANU-PF structures since time immemorial, ZANU-PF structures follow the directives or the direction of the first secretary and the president of the party. That is how things work in ZANU-PF, whether people agree or disagree with it, but that is how it works. Which is why when E.D. Mnangagwa was dismissed from the party back in 2017, that decision sailed through because the first secretary of the party approved that decision. Prior to that, Dr. Joyce Mujuru was also dismissed from the same party. And because the first secretary and the president agreed to it, she also ended up outside the party. So there's nothing peculiar in for the first secretary to, kind of veto the decisions of the party. It has been happening since time immemorial in ZANU-PF. It's not something new. I think that is my understanding of the current situation within ZANU-PF.
Right. Well, thank you very much. Comrade Setfree, you can put your phone on the mute. Thank you for your delivery. We appreciate these thoughts. We're going to try now get to Comrade Gifford Gomwe, who I think was struggling to get into the Twitter space. So we're going to get him on the phone so he can deliver his 3 minutes also. Right. Comrade Setfree here is saying, look, people should warm up to a Tagwirei Central Committee position because there's nothing new about this. And this has happened many times before. Even ED himself is a product of co-opting or co-option. And when he did not qualify, and then he suggests that people who are agitated or who do not want Tagwirei get in do not want this to happen because they feel threatened, right? Struggling because of the network. But I think I just said, let me get you to speak while you are at least over here, and so yeah, so take us through. What are your thoughts? You give us your 3 minutes, Comrade Gomwe.
Okay. Regarding the risk option.
Yes, Mafukudze here is just delivered, and he says, look, there is nothing new. There's nothing new, because this has happened many times. Even Mnangagwa himself was once co-opted when he was an outsider, when he was a worse outsider, and had even been fired for insubordination, for actually being a Chigananda, for being a Mukorokoza, right? The very allegations that you folks are labeling on Tagwirei. And then not just that, he also says, look, people who don't want Tagwirei to get in do not want this to happen because they do not want Tagwirei the person. They have benefited from Tagwirei so many ways, but they just don't want Tagwirei the person. How do you take us? How do you take this? Take us through your thoughts.
He was a supporter of ZANU-PF. That's when you noticed in several times I've heard that he was donating some things to ZANU-PF. But being a supporter does not mean that you are a member of ZANU-PF. So as since 1989, which was a statement made by Harare Province Chairman Comrade Udus Masimrebo. I don't take that statement as true, because what is happening here is they wanted to co-opt him to Central Committee so much that they want him. People are saying they want Tagwirei to be a successor to Mnangagwa in come 2028. Why? Because the agenda for 2030 to push Comrade Mnangagwa to 2030 has failed. So Tagwirei has become a dark horse under Mnangagwa so much that he can be the president come 2028, challenging Comrade Vice President Chiwenga. But it's not really like people issues of policy. What does the constitution of the party say for one to be a Central Committee member? He has got to follow certain rules and regulations. That ZANU-PF leadership in Central Committee made a decision to say, no, Tagwirei has never been a member of ZANU-PF. Even if he was a cell member voted one, as well as a district member, is what the Harare Province to be a Central Committee member, because one of the key factors that which is considered for one to be a Central Committee member is he has to be a provincial member for at least 5 years and above. So the issue of saying people they do not want Tagwirei to be
Yeah, Setfree. How do you respond to this? And maybe it freaks up. What Comrade Setfree is saying, qualifying or not, there shouldn't be any ills. There shouldn't. Mnangagwa's example. That Mnangagwa
Hi, Simba. You know what? You know what? I think we can go back into ZANU-PF via co-option, went on to contest for seats as members of parliament, and they actually won their seats as co-opted members. So co-op is a kind of a waiver. I think people might be getting this wrong. A co-option is a waiver to say, okay, we have you here, but you can jump through these processes and we can take you, you can go there. Absolutely no one contested it at the time. You need a certain number of years to doing such and such, but you know, ZANU-PF membership, if I ask you, we had General Chiwenga, who was the commander of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces as of 2017 November. He was the commander of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. Now, constitutionally, a serving Zimbabwe Defense Forces commander, constitutionally, as per the national constitution, cannot then be a member of any political party, if you hear me right. Now, let's count. We are now at 27 years. I mean, at 7 years, or should I say 8 years since the coup. So, what we can safely say is General Chiwenga has been a member of the party since 2017 when he retired from the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. Is that not correct? That would be the correct position if we are to base on the constitution, or if we are to use the constitution as the basis for, you know, appointing individuals within the party. So in this case, what we are saying is General Chiwenga left the Zimbabwe Defense Forces and became a ZANU-PF member after retiring from the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, which was within less than, he was vice president, which makes him second secretary of ZANU-PF. That was another co-option. You get my point? So
yeah. Gomwe, how do you take that? So you're equating. So you're equating Vachiwenga. You're equating General Chiwenga to Tagwirei. You're saying, look, Bagangofana to our.
No, underneath Simba, if we are going to go by the constitution, if we are going to go by the constitution, either is that we are
applying for a waiver for not going against the constitution. So here in ZANU-PF, a waiver for one to be in the security sector before, like the colonels, the brigadiers, the major generals, the high-profile security people. Those are the only people who can get waiver, because really you can't separate ZANU from people who were holding security position, because those are the same people who actually went to war again. Because ZANU-PF is a revolutionary party, so you can't separate ZANU-PF from its people who fought for it to be who fought for us to be Zimbabwe like what we are today. So ZANU-PF and the war veterans, you can't separate them with ZANU-PF. So a waiver is strictly only given to the people who are holding security, high security positions.
Right. Okay. So yes, so comment Setfree. There you are. He's saying, look, the waiver should not be for other people like Mukupe. You mentioned Mukupe. I think you mentioned it's a third person. There's Zalera. The waiver should only be for servicemen.
Yeah, but I've already given you
Before
examples
you
of people.
answer, Setfree, before you answer, can we also incorporate the fact that, you know, VP Chiwenga played a huge part in the removal of our former president? So wouldn't that also allow
my
for
sister,
him to get
my sister,
that
my sister, my sister, my sister, don't use that basis. If you use that basis,
for everything to happen that happened, or when people ended up going into the streets, right? Chiwenga VP Chiwenga played a big part.
I want to give you an opportunity.
Yes, just let me finish. Whenever there's a coup, which wasn't a coup, right? There will always be agreements between the one who wants to take over and the army. This happens in any political scenario that you can think about, where a coup happens. Although in Zimbabwe's case, they don't want to call it a coup. They call it a coup, which wasn't a coup. But it had every single ingredient of calling it a coup, although they don't like that term.
Right, are you done now?
Yes, I am.
Right. For a coup, not a coup, or a coup to happen, you need finance. There's a lot of money that goes around, right? Do you even understand how that coup was financed? If you understand that basic, then you understand where Tagwirei comes into the whole match.
Geza put in 5 million. Geza put in 5 million for that coup to happen. How much did Tagwirei put?
Look.
A lot of people put money.
Look at it this way. Look at it this way.
You know what?
Geza. If you want to discuss Comrade Geza, we can discuss Geza on another day. For now, let's focus on the topic. Look, when these things are happening, a lot of people put their finances into it, and the people who financed it. Look, I was never a process. Yes, Comrade Geza, Bombshell, I know he contributed. I'm very close to Bombshell, by the way. So I know his contributions to that whole process. I know them. But the major financier of that whole process was none other than Tagwirei. It's not something that is hidden. It's something that is known. If you look for that information, you will find it. He's the one who
10%. It still does not take away the fact that for the army, it was necessary for them to be there. Anna S.B. Moyo, the late, also played crucial parts, and there's an agreement. Even all right. Urukuti Tagwirei put a lot of money into this, right?
Yes,
that time. But then here's the thing: he also agreed for a situation where VP Chiwenga would also be part of the government that they were going to form. So it's his own fault.
So is there any way where Tagwirei said no, but Chiwenga atiskuwada pavaripa? Is there any way where he said?
No, he hasn't said that. No, because what we're debating here is whether it should be allowed to jump hoops, right? When others are saying to go through a process.
How can you not allow a person to jump hoops? Anga achikutengera Land Cruiser kupati office kwenyu. Achikuchengetai. Achikubhadharai masalaries. Makuti amuchamuvhumira kujamba mahoops. Munhu afani kufollowa kune mari kuparisa mari.
Vemwana vanochengeta mwana akamuendesa kuchikoro. Zvinoreva kuti ndo vauchachata nawe. And it everyone plays a role, but you have to set people free to do their own things. And is it?
Exactly.
So, in mean what you are saying? What you are saying is there are people who are qualified to jump hoops, and there are people who are not qualified to do so. Is that what you are saying?
No, what I'm saying is you cannot compare Zakaitika Pakabziswa Mugabe Payapeka Nezha now because you know Zanga is very unstable during that time.
But I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing anything.
No, you are comparing because you're.
I'm saying. I'm saying.
Iwewe argument yako, from what I understand, this person Tagwirei has been injecting a lot of money into a lot of each things that are happening in Zimbabwe, the politics of it all, cannot kuzanu PF, right? And then my argument for that would be, because Tagwirei did not just wake up in the morning and be rich like that. He had to have vanhu alawa kutawane matenders as basically he is by himself.
A simple question.
Okay.
Who are those people? Why
you want to put me on the spot?
So
right, so folks, I just have to briefly stop the two of you so that we can hear Comrade Gomwe because he's been crowded out to a monologue. So let's just hear Comrade Gomwe. Let's hear you.
Right, Comrade Setfree. People are not co-opted in ZANU-PF simply because they've contributed financial resources to ZANU-PF, but there are rules and regulations which must be followed. Like I said before, a waiver, like Constitution of Zimbabwe doesn't allow the security forces to venture in any political game. You see, here's the reason why you see pana Comrade Chiwenga and vamwe military vasingagone kuzochanda slogans because our Constitution of Zimbabwe allow vanhu kuti vaite izvozvo. Handisi vandi muri kuona saka nelevel ravanenge vave kumusoro kuti macolonels, mabrigadier, major generals, magenerals, munhu iyeye nekuda kwekuti anenge ari involved decision making yenyika. Remember, ZANU-PF runs is the ruling party. ZANU-PF directs the government. So, President to objectives and my goals are akachidiwa nezANU-PF. Handisi muri kuona manje. Saka that's why tichiti vanhu ava vanozopiwa a special waiver yavanopiwa kunenyaya yekuti havanga vasingagoni kujoina party kuti vaende at grassroots level elections. You would find kuti standing rule district level structure is ZANU-PF for 5 years. But in some cases, wakaona kuti age by party. But city ashidiwa nevanhu vari kuopposite. But what we want is we want munhu here adzore vanhu vauye kuZANU-PF. So a waiver was then made kuti vanhu ivava kunyange vambobuda musangano havasi kumita the criteria yekuti 5 years vari mumusangano vanhu vavo rikativape especial waiver varepresent the party vari kupi vari musangano medu anditika it was a waiver yakapiwa iyoyo handitika then in the issue Tagwirei hapana munhu akambomurambidza kujoina party handitika dai aiziva kukosha kweCentral Committee Tagwirei since achiti iye akajoina party 1989 angadai akaita rose through maranks wayo kubva pakusero branch district DCC province otherwise angadai Tagwirei tisingatombotaura maissues ake nhasi angadai atori possibly Central Committee member kudhara by virtue of him having resources angadai possibly atori a politburo member but zvotoratidza kuti iye anga asingatodi kujoina party nguva yese chake chaaida aida kungosponsor party as a way maybe yekuwana sympathy dealings ake possibly as a way yekuda kufara nekuve aligned.
Right. If you can start to learn so that you can also respond.
Just hold on. Every member yese yeparty anditika iri prominent munzvimbo mainogara anditika security inotomuprofiler anditika we have presence department, we have police intelligence, we have
We can't hear him anymore, Simba.
Yeah, I think his network is breaking.
Yes. Saka munhu yeye anoprofiliwa antimomukona Tagwirei hapana patakambonzwa kuti Tagwirei akambopinda mustructure yemusangano ari pa certain level antimurikuona marecords ese eZANU-PF emunhu angari mustructure yeZANU-PF anenge ari Chris Mutsanga zvaakataura pekupedzera whether they however when it is there he failed to meet the criteria for whatever to be adopted in the Central Committee.
Right. Okay. Comrade Setfree, we are about to close, folks. We're left with less than because you.
Yeah, most on the pods 2 minutes. Simba, atidi favoritism.
Nenge takurwa 1 minute. What's nenge takuvara? Comrade Setfree, your 2 minutes, please.
Saka siyanditange kava apindura chero neni.
Comrade Setfree, are you still there? Setfree. Oh dear. Or maybe
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
I'm here.
please give us your 2 minute response as we round down.
All right. Central Committee. I've answered that question. The rest is we are just debating our own thoughts.
for takamona attending something, and then they told him, "Oh, you're not supposed to be here because my processes are sataitwa." How did it not? How did he not know that he was not supposed to be there? I kind of feel like panika kuda kushote sana karukuitika within ZANU-PF itself, because look, 1 minute you want to be going according to your constitution, instances where it's looking like kutoda ushote sana kurukuitika. And when it comes to Tagwirei, no. And there are a lot of people who are going to be disgruntled. But the message that is being sent here is, for you to reach level ya Shika Ovanwanenga na VP Chiwenga, you have to have earned it. VP Chiwenga earned it through his army, reputation and all that, and also the part he played, Paku Viso, the former president. These are things that people recognize. And between whether it's the VP Chiwenga side and the Tagwirei side. So I think that's something that ZANU-PF needs to deal with real quick. Otherwise, kids were from within.
Right.
I'll end there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Folks, we're going to have our two main contributors just do 30 seconds. Right. Topic here, gents, as you close. 30 seconds each. ED is still going ahead to appoint Tagwirei into Central Committee. Do you deny? Munoramba here. 30 seconds, please. Shall we start with Comrade Setfree and then we end with Gomwe? 30 seconds, please.
Simba, I've answered that question already.
Right.
I've answered it.
Okay, so ED,
I've told you, ED is the D and a final word. If he decides to no, guys, on the following basis, we have to co-opt Comrade Tagwirei into the Central Committee. I don't see anyone who go against it. They were agreed in those updated. Well, remember, ZANU-PF, the first year aiwa zvekurimuvha haisiriyo nyaya kani mukukanganisa pakuda
because anakupa gara kapachigaro kada kutsamwisa vanhu futi vanokubvisa. There's only so much.
ndiri kuti inini wedha ndoda kuti Tagwirei vapinde munhu musisi wedha vamwe havadi kuti vapinde kana kuti toda kuti vapinde tese kana hatidi kuti vapinde tese handiti kana if yaitwa, which is the same thing if you want to take us back kuna anditi yakamubvisa iye Mugabe mupower anditi but the decisions were made azvimise kuti madecisions akatoitwa.
Gifford Gomwe, Setfree is saying here, is concluding his session by saying whether you and I agree, he is going ahead, and if he wants to go ahead to put Tagwirei, you can talk all you want, you can write all you want, but there's nothing that can stop him. How do you take that?
All right. Simba, Comrade Setfree, President Mnangagwa is the first secretary of ZANU-PF. An operator within the parameters, the constitution of ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is well known for being a democratic party in a Kusarushi change. Anitika, agone kumeka decision Tagwirei achipinda kuti adi. One thing I'm trying to understand Comrade Setfree, the press conference which was made by Chris Mchangwa, he is a mouthpiece of a decision which was done by the presidium. The presidium that includes President Mnangagwa. So Chris Mchangwa, Jagatotaura Nezuru Pepe, it's a done. Apasisina reverse. That's the end of the issue Tagwirei Yekupinda Central Committee. Yakatodarika. Whether Mnangagwa aida Tagwirei apinde, but this time apasisina away Yanopinda. Iye Mnangagwa vanotoziva kuti kuda kumanikidza kuti uyu apinde, vanotoziva zvazvinoreva kupati kuti zvinotokonzeresa noise, zvinotokonzeresa hondo, zvinokonzeresa kuti nyika yedu isave nepolitical stability. Saka he will never make Tagwirei kuti apinde mucentral committee achiziva iye zvinotokonzeresa an effect yekuti patokonzera kuti iye
like this. Right. Okay, but I think you're done, right?
Yeah. So my last submission is whether he likes or not, it's a done deal. Tagwirei is not going to be co-opted. There's no way President Mnangagwa can impose the adoption of Tagwirei into Central Committee. That's my.
We will probably just have it impromptu. Honorable Temo Melissa was supposed to be a part of this, but he's just been to another meeting. But just keep subscribed, folks. If he does pop up, we'll just go live just like that. But thank you to our. Thank you, folks. We're ending. Cheers. Much appreciated.
How did the country get here where Tagwirei is humiliated? It all started at the National Heroes Acre.
Our online audience, those on Twitter Space, and the 500 people watching.
At the Heroes Acre, Vice President Constantino Chiwenga declares war on internal corruption and mafia state capture. Pasi Nezvigananda. The term targets the corrupt elite, including Kuda Tagwirei, Wicknell Chivayo, and Delish. The night was electric on the 6th of July, 2025. Vice President Chiwenga's chief campaigner, Blessed Geza, played out video footage denouncing Kuda Tagwirei under the theme Pasi Nezvigananda, a defiant anthem, but behind the music was a trap. 3 days before, on the 3rd of July, inside ZANU-PF headquarters, Chiwenga had risen, demanding the ejection of Kuda Tagwirei from a Central Committee meeting. It was bold, it was loud. The Blessed Geza session on the 6th of July 2025. Unbeknownst to him, the meeting was a decoy. Tagwirei's name was never on the agenda. And the real power, it sat quietly, with the 10 provincial chairpersons loyal to Emerson Mnangagwa. Chiwenga had walked into a fake coup, Acholocho 2.0, and he sang or sloganeered himself to sleep, believing he has discouraged the party from co-opting Tagwirei on the basis of a slogan. Was he strategic, and will he get something better than this furious talk and ejection of Tagwirei by Secretary for Administration Obert Mpofu? A power in ZANU-PF lies with the 10 chairpersons, all of whom are loyal to ED. By extension, they have no choice but to be loyal to CUDA. By correspondent. Zimbabwe's Vice President, Constantino Chiwenga, is at the center of fresh allegations of attempting to politically undermine his superior President Emerson Mnangagwa in a botched internal ZANU-PF maneuver that has drawn comparisons to the infamous 2004 Cholocho coup plot. Speaking during a live discussion on ZimAye, former ZANU-PF Mashonaland West chairperson Themba Maliswa exposed what he described as a panic move by Chiwenga inside the ruling party's headquarters on the 3rd of July 2025, triggered by agitation over controversial businessman Kudakwashe Tagwirei's possible promotion into the party's central committee. According to Maliswa, the entire episode was not just an expression of dissent, but a miscalculated attempt to shift power balances, using Tagwirei as a pawn in what could be likened to the ill-fated Cholocho Declaration coup attempt, which saw ambitious ZANU-PF officials trying to sideline the then-President Robert Mugabe in 2004. CUDA was used as a pawn to shake Chiwenga up, suggested Maliswa. He was misled. Inside the 3rd of July drama, Maliswa claims that Chiwenga, caught in an agitation trap, openly called for Tagwirei's ejection from ZANU-PF structures on Obert Mpofu's prompting during a high-stakes session. It was a move not supported by the party's constitutional procedures, particularly the Central Committee, which is responsible for such decisions. CUDA's issue was never tabled at the Central Committee. It was a setup, Maliswa explained. Chiwenga panicked, and instead of gaining ground, he only ended up making CUDA more popular. Despite accusations against Tagwirei, which include the alleged embezzlement of public funds, the businessman has remained visibly aligned with Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. CUDA is loyal to the president, he added, and power in ZANU-PF lies with the 10 chairpersons, all of whom are loyal to ED. By extension, they have no choice but to be loyal to CUDA. The military miscalculation. Maliswa further alleged that Chiwenga misread the internal power dynamics, wrongly assuming that military loyalty could be leveraged to influence civilian party structures. According to him, Chiwenga's failure to navigate the party's internal machinery now puts him at a political disadvantage, with even former allies turning cold amid the fallout. A pattern of outsider promotions. Tagwirei's possible elevation into the Central Committee follows a pattern that has seen technocrats and business allies of the ruling elite, including Professor Jonathan Moyo in the early 2000s and Finance Minister Mthuli Ancube more recently, being co-opted into ZANU-PF's highest decision-making bodies without long-standing party credentials. Critics within ZANU-PF argue this dilutes the liberation ethos of the party, while saying Chiwenga was not tricked into any agitation whatsoever. Others say it reflects the pragmatic fusion of business and politics necessary for modern governance. One critic, Gifford Gomwe, tells ZimAye, Chiwenga has not at all danced to the agitation of Mnangagwa. But what he has done is, Chiwenga has showed Mnangagwa that what you are doing is very wrong. The correct way is there are rules and regulations that we must follow as the party, ZANU-PF, when it comes to co-options or how we adopt someone into a central committee position. Okay, if I have to give Chiwenga marks, I would say Chiwenga is 10 out of 10. But to all this, Maliswa contends, saying, if the president has power to appoint 5 non-politician technocrats, why can the Central Committee fail to waver for Tagwirei? Recently, ZANU-PF's controversial political commissar, Munyaradzi Machacha, has also told ZimAye that Tagwirei has contributed immensely to the party. The bottom line. If true, these latest developments signal not just deep fractures within ZANU-PF, but also the end of the once unshakable political partnership between Chiwenga and Mnangagwa, forged during the 2017 military-assisted transition that toppled Robert Mugabe. Maliswa's claims, which connect with other statements by ZANU-PF political commissar Munyaradzi Machacha and Goodwill's Massimirembwa, could redefine the trajectory of Zimbabwe's power politics ahead of the party's next elected Congress and may have long-lasting implications for both the military's role in governance and the influence of economic elites like Tagwirei within the ruling establishment. VP Constantino Chiwenga was reached for comment.
This is Zimai Media, broadcasting all round the world, on the spot, on the dot.